What's the deal, Pickles, and welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be tying up the rear subframe, making sure everything's connected, building the differential box. I'm not going to be talking a lot in this. Reason being, I had an extreme sore throat. I couldn't talk very well because I had coronavirus. So I was in quarantine and spent most of it in the shop because sitting in the house is just not something I can do. So without further ado, let's get after it. Okay, ooh, coffee. Okay, so I have been testing and trying and cutting and reworking and figuring stuff out. I think I finally figured out how to do the rear end of this thing. Okay, so we've talked about it before that we're going to have a jack shaft set up running to the CV axles on the rear. But there was a couple things that we needed to figure out, like the chain tensioner, the spacing, how everything was going to go together. Well, we needed a chain tensioner and we needed some way to mount this jack shaft, and I managed to come up with something that knocks out both of those at the same time. So what I did here was I took some, I think, 1/4-inch plate, and I cut these little kind of V shapes right here with my plasma cutter, which was cool. I've never used my plasma cutter before, so I was kind of stoked about that. Then mounted these flange bearings to it, and I've got this notch cut in it so that the jack shaft can go through. It's got plenty of room, it won't touch this plate, and there's one on each side. And the reason it's cut into a V is because down here there will be a bolt that runs into the frame with a kind of crush tube or something, just to keep it from wallering out the frame and give it some rigidity. But this will mount through here. There'll be a bolt coming out the other side. This will act as a pivot point. So I haven't finished putting everything together yet. What I'll have is a kind of heim joint setup that connects to one of these bolts here, and then it'll run down to the frame. These are just for mock-up. I've got to cut new pieces, but I'll have a heim joint running from here to the frame that I can tighten and loosen, and this will pivot back and forth and make it where the chain actually tensions up. So yeah, I'm hoping this works. If it doesn't, oh well, I tried. But first I've got to cut and make a box to go inside of here just to help reinforce it. And I'll cut this, get it all tacked in. We'll put this back on, and then I can start building the box to go over it. Then we connect that to this frame. Alright, so now I've got all my pieces cut. I'm going to build a box to go around this to not only give it protection, but so that now I've got a point back here to tie the frame in to the top. We're going to run a piece coming top down to the top of this box. Let's get this tacked in and see if we can make it happen. so now that I've got the differential box all made up and tacked in, now it's time to make sure that this ties to this. We're going to be running some square tube from here down to the back. Same thing on this side. And then we'll run some bracing up top, right around this area. Some bracing down here. We'll run some bracing down here. And we'll run some bracing going to the middle. That way, everything's still wide open. We can get to the motor and get it out if we need to. And this frame doesn't fold on us going through the trails. So, let's do it. Okay, so as you can see, the rear subframe, differential box, everything is done. This thing is a complete frame now. So I'm really excited about that. It took a lot of cutting, a lot of welding, a lot of measuring and recutting, because I don't claim to be a fabricator. I don't claim to be good at it. I'm really excited about this because it's starting to look more and more complete every time I come out here. And it's a good feeling. If you haven't already, you can like and subscribe. Make sure you use the links in the description to pick up a Rattle Can Customs t-shirt from Stover Customs, as well as a t-shirt from MiniBikeApparel. And until next time, y'all get up, get out there, and get after it.